crazy this pregnancy has been for me in so many different ways, and I just want to share this with you guys. I find that if you are pregnant or you plan on being pregnant in the future, you'll find this really interesting. Or honestly, even if you don't, I think you'd find this really interesting. So I've had 4 pregnancies. I'm on my 4th. And you would think that after going through this multiple times that you're like, they're all like the same, right? You would think that like, oh, your mom, like you're pregnant, it's the same thing. Wrong. Wrong. So how do I put this? Like, first of all, what I'm experiencing right now and what I've been experiencing this past year has been so intense and mind-opening, mind-bending. Like, it's been one of those things where like I'm never gonna forget this year. I'm never gonna forget what I went through this year. And I know that I haven't shared any of this, but I feel like now that I'm like kind of like understanding it more, I want to start talking about this because this has been so intense. In my past pregnancies with Steele, Ellen, and Leia, I was at different phases of my life. All of those individual pregnancies were very unique and different from each other, right? They were all different timelines. I was a different Catherine in those times. And fast forward, 6 years now, pregnancy, this time, this is no different. This is like Catherine on a whole new plane, on a whole new timeline. Like, this has been insane, and I'm going to explain, but I just want to say, like, this is real. Like, it's just so crazy. So the first thing I want to talk about is this just has been, I couldn't find the words, okay? But just to be transparent, I was going to make a YouTube video on this and cover this and just do like a whole thing on it. But I'm probably still going to do it, but I just wanted to like share it with you guys first on here. So back in 2022, I went to a dinner party. My friend Nat and Liv invited me, and there was a whole bunch of girls, and Nat and Liv's older sister was there. I just got introduced to her, and she was pregnant at the time, and she was saying that she didn't know the gender of her baby, and she was waiting to find out at birth. And I remember looking at her, and I remember this moment like it was yesterday. Like, it was like one of those moments where like I'll never forget for whatever reason. I remember we were there by the ocean, and it was like an outside table, and she was sitting right in front of me, and we're talking, and she goes, "Yeah, I don't know the gender. I'm waiting to find out." And I looked at her and I said, "I have 3 kids, and I can't foresee another one." And the reason I said that was because my ex and I were going through separation. There was things brewing, right? So the idea of having another one was just not there. And so I remember looking at her dead in the face, and I said, "I have 3 kids, and I'm really happy with my 3 kids. And I don't know if I'm ever going to have a 4th, but if I did, I would do it that way. I wouldn't want to know until the day I give birth." And it was like I said out loud, it's like I spelled something out loud that got instilled in me. And it was like my soul knew that that was going to eventually happen. And I was like putting that out there in the universe. And I'll never forget that moment. And so when I had met Igor, in 2023 and met him and fell in love, like our whole journey has been so just magical. And usually when you start dating someone, you ask questions like, do you want to have kids? Like, what's your plan? And he doesn't have kids of his own. And so that was one of the questions I had asked him. And he said, well, you have 3 kids. And I used to want kids. I used to think about having kids. But now that I met you and you have your children, it's not something that I'm like, I have to have. You know what I mean? He said, I'm very open to not having in this life. And I remember when he said that, there was so much pressure relieved off of me. Like, it was like I was hearing like an angel speak to me and like make me feel so safe and so comfortable, because I didn't want to feel that pressure of like needing to have children and feeling that pressure in our relationship just in general, right? I didn't want to have that, and I didn't have that. And so that was really nice, in our relationship was that I didn't have that pressure, and I could feel like I could genuinely focus and give all of the love and support that my children need because, they're still young. And so I said this, and I'll never forget. I said, if God gives us a child, if we have a child in the future, right? And it was like my soul knew before I knew. It was so crazy. But I said, if we have a child in the future, I wouldn't want to know the gender until the day that I give birth. And he was like, that's amazing. Like, that's beautiful. Like, I love that idea. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was like something along the lines of like, I support that, right? But we weren't in talks of having children. It was just something that I just said out loud, right? Like, I spelled it out loud into the universe. And so fast forward, we get married. I get pregnant the month to know the gender of your child. And so this has just been something that I've had to, I knew that my soul that wanted to experience this. I knew that I wanted to, and so I knew that I had to go through this in this period of my life because there was a lot of things that I needed to unlearn and learn. And I also had to go through a lot of womb healing, which is something that I've never talked to you guys about. But there has been a lot of healing in my womb, stagnant energy that was sitting there for years without me knowing until this pregnancy. And this baby has helped me move through that. But I'll give you some examples. And so my very first pregnancy, which by the way, just so you guys know, people often think that if you're a mother and you've had multiple pregnancies, that they're all kind of like the same, you go through it and, oh, you know what to go through. No, you are actually a different version of yourself in every single pregnancy. There's a different version of you and a different rebirth, death and rebirth within those pregnancies that you have to go through. They're like these like periods of your life that are so life-changing. The very first one, which they're all different from each other. The very first one, which was my pregnancy with Elle, I was in like hermit mode and I was alone and I was secluded and I was in a new city I'd never been to. And my ex-husband and I were, we were learning about each other and like dreaming big, I spent a lot of time alone, just imagining how I want my life to look and what I want to do and figuring it out. But I felt very rich in the spirit. I felt very happy and content with myself. And it was a very peaceful pregnancy in a sense, but there was a lot of things that I was going through, right? My second pregnancy, it was this massive thing. It was like filmed every single day. There was hundreds and millions of people watching us on our channel every single month. And, I filmed a lot of it and it was just like a time of my life, but there was a lot of growth. And that was my first and only gender reveal that I ever did. And my ex and I decided to do a gender reveal, and our friend Kylie was the only person who knew the gender. And so she was the one who did it for us. Mind you, this was 2018. And at the time, we were filming every day. We wanted to really protect, our gender reveal because we wanted to share it with the fans first. And she had an assistant at the time who had a boyfriend who came to the gender reveal and posted the gender on his social media, and it just went viral within minutes. Everyone knew what the gender was. And I remember getting home within like 10 minutes of the party being finished, and Kylie calls me and she's like, hey, I just want to let you know, I'm so sorry. I just want to let you know that my assistant's boyfriend came uninvited. I don't know how this happened. Oh my God, he posted the gender of your baby. And I'll never forget these words. She goes, don't ever let anyone take your news away from you. And I was like, okay, like we're just gonna like share it now and not, wait till we make the video. And I really wanted to sit with this news for myself for a couple of days and like really get to like enjoy it. But because that happened, it kind of felt like a spectacle and this like whole thing. And I felt very disconnected from myself. And like, I don't know, it was just like a really weird time. And it didn't feel like I was having these moments to myself, And so there was a lot of like, womb trauma in there, and there's some things that I was experiencing along with other things things of being in the public eye at the time. So that was my second pregnancy. My third pregnancy, you guys know, I was going through so much in that pregnancy where, my relationship was just going downhill and it was really bad. And I found out some things, very emotional things, at 2 months pregnant. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, like, what is happening? Like, things are getting out of hand. Like, I'm not in control of my life. Like, what is happening? And I remember looking at my ex at the time and saying, I just want to do the blood test and just find out on a phone call, and I'll surprise you. And that's how we did it. And so there was a lot of womb healing that I needed to go through that I wasn't aware of until this pregnancy. All of these emotions came up when I didn't even know. And so it kind of went in line with the fact that I don't know the gender in this pregnancy, because it gave me an opportunity to really get to know this soul on a deeper level, not have any labels, expectations, or anything of this world, right? And so my meditations with this baby have been unbelievable, like things that I never even thought I would see. Like having this soul communicate with me and like talk to me almost, and like almost like I'm downloading information like a computer, and just getting like all of these details. And like it's like this like soul is like older than me, and it's like it's given me the opportunity to do healing that I may have never even done had I not have had this pregnancy. And so just like looking back at those years of my life and those past pregnancies, and now seeing that there was so much work that needed to be done to release a lot of it through this baby, through this soul, has been just life-changing. Another thing too is like speaking to this baby and not saying like she or he has been really different. I've never experienced that before. Usually like I kind of have an idea of who's coming. This time around, I have no clue. I've had so many people ask me, well, what do you think intuitively? And every single time, my answer is, I knew what I was having with all of my prior pregnancies. I knew Elle was a girl. I knew Lele was a girl. I wore pink that day. I knew Steele was a boy. But this soul, it's like I have a block. It doesn't want me to know. It doesn't want me to have a label or to imagine if it's a boy, if he's gonna act like Steele, or if it's a girl, if they're gonna be like the girls, like I'm not supposed to know this information. I'm supposed to sit with me and allow this soul to give me the gift of presence and to give me the gift of patience. And so I've been going through this. And yeah, a couple of months ago, Igor and I were talking, we made a video, and there was a clip that was grabbed, and someone had, I'm sure it was on TikTok or so. I'm not on TikTok like that, so I don't know. But I'm sure, there was somebody who had been very judgmental over the fact that they thought that I didn't want my husband to know the gender, to know the gender of our baby, that I was taking that away from him. But the truth is that we had both decided that we wanted to go through it this way. And he knew how important it was for me to go through this process so that I could heal myself in so many ways and take my power back and sit in my power and carry this pregnancy in this kind of way, and kind of like go 10 steps back, right? Like what we're used to as human beings. Like we're not supposed to know all of the answers. We're not supposed to know everything. We're really supposed to live in the present and have that gift of learning when you go through this birth, right? This labor, this primal sacred ceremony that has been robbed from us for so many years. And I get to experience it in this way now. And I feel like I'm just so blessed. All right, so it's getting a little dark in this room. But to finish off, what I was going to say is, as someone with experience who's had multiple pregnancies, who has boy and girls, and as someone who has experienced these pregnancies all individually in very different, unique ways, I can genuinely say that not knowing and being present with yourself and going inwards and not having all the answers and connecting to God and knowing that God is bringing this soul through me, not from me, and knowing that I'm on my individual journey and so is this soul. We are two different beings, but we are also one and we are also connected, has just changed my life to a place where I don't even think I can put into human words. I think it's just meant to be felt. I don't even think I'm supposed to even have words to explain it. I think that I can do my best and then you guys can take what you want from it. But if you could hold off for 9 to 10 months, for the pregnancy and not know and just sit with yourself and be in that meditative state and accept all of it. I think that is just such a gift in a time where we all have this want and need to know everything now. And I'm just so glad that I did it this way. And yeah, I wanted to share this because I've been wanting to share this for months, but I didn't really have the words. And I learned a lot about myself in this pregnancy, and